Good morning, everyone. Happy Labor Day weekend. I hope you're enjoying the beginning of it. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend where I am, so I hope that the weather is holding out for you. The Globe and Mail is reporting Kim Campbell not losing Supreme Court advisor position following Mar-a-Lago hurricane tweet. I reported about this the other day, but this is a follow-up, and I thought she might lose her position over this. This is a pretty big deal, and, well, I think it says a lot about Mr. Trudeau and his government appointments when he doesn't move to remove somebody who's clearly, capable of tweeting this stuff out. This is kind of nuts. Okay, former Prime Minister Kim Campbell is not losing her position as an advisor to the Supreme Court of Canada appointments after she publicly called for a hurricane to strike U.S. President Donald Trump's Florida mansion. Ms. Campbell on Wednesday quote tweeted a message about Hurricane Dorian, which is expected to slam into Florida over the weekend. "I'm hoping for a direct hit on Mar-a-Lago," she wrote of Mr. Trump's estate in Palm Beach, which is on the storm's projected path. Despite an avalanche of criticism from Twitter users accusing her of wishing destruction on an American town, Ms. Campbell initially refused to back down. In follow-up tweets, she suggested that a hurricane would be a way to disabuse Mr. Trump of his climate change denialism. Quote, "We will see if Miss Post's design can stand up to the assault," she tweeted, referring to Marjorie Merriweather Post, Mar-a-Lago's original owner. "I know Palm Beach well, and I'm sorry if it gets a big hit. I wish I could believe that it would shake up Trump's climate change denial." In another tweet, she said it would, quote, "help if he tackled climate change, which is making hurricanes more destructive," before telling her critics to get a grip. On Friday morning, Ms. Campbell erased the tweet and said she wanted to sincerely apologize to all it offended. "It was intended as sarcasm, not a serious wish of harm. Throwaway lines get a life of their own on Twitter. I should know better. Mea culpa," she wrote. I scroll down just a little bit. Mr. Trudeau's office refused to say Friday whether the government had any concerns with her calling for Mr. Trump's house to get hit by a potentially deadly storm. Quote, "The tweet has been deleted and she apologized. We have nothing to add," Chantal Gagnon, a spokeswoman for the Prime Minister, wrote in an email. Ms. Gagnon would not say whether Ms. Campbell would be precluded from chairing the panel in the future after her comments. She said a new panel is formed for every Supreme Court appointment. While other members of the panel have changed between appointments over the past 3 years, Ms. Campbell has remained as chair throughout. Neither Ms. Campbell nor the White House responded to requests for comment Friday. Her tweets attracted significant media attention in the U.S., including several mentions on Fox News, the right-wing cable channel that Mr. Trump watches religiously. Okay, so it's bad form for a former prime minister to tweet that out. It's bad. It's even worse form for a Supreme Court selection committee member to tweet that out. It's even less good form for the chair of that committee to tweet that stuff out. So make up your own mind. I like my government to represent what I want, and I would want her to be removed from a position of power like that. Andrew Scheer, and I'm going to do an Andrew Scheer tweet roundup. And the things that stood out to me, I'll tell you at the end. But I've been playing with this for a couple of days, and I look at Andrew Scheer's tweets, and I look at Justin Trudeau's tweets, and I look at Mr. Bernier's tweets. There are differences. And, well, I'm going to go through this, and at the end, I'm going to point out what the differences are. He could have talked about a few things. He didn't. He doesn't really engage with a lot of people. There's not a lot of back and forth. Somebody said Andrew Scheer's Twitter feed reads like a diary, whereas Bernier's reads like a conversation. I agree with that, but I think it's more than that. There's more to it, and I'm going to point out what I think that is. But first, we're going to go through and look at the tweets, and I'll do it as I usually do it. So here we go. Andrew Scheer is tweeting, quote, "A new conservative government will live within its means and put money in your pockets so that you can get ahead." This was on August 26th. So this is the last week. It's a bit of a longer one than I usually do, but I want to give a good cross-section because I don't usually do his tweets. Here is another one. "Why won't Justin Trudeau's Liberals say how high their carbon tax will go? Because they only care about getting reelected." And this is a video. Oh, it's 16 seconds. We'll watch it.
Before the next election, because the framework says by 2022.
Gosh, I'm just worried about getting reelected, earning the right to represent Ottawa Centre. Anyway, thanks very much.
So she discounts the question and says, "Oh, I'm just trying to get reelected. I'm not worrying about that carbon tax stuff that we said we were going to renegotiate next week." So it's an attack ad. It's an engineered meme. That means this is a professional meme, right? Like, this isn't put together by somebody on Facebook to share with their friends. This is put together by a corporation to be shared specifically for this purpose. Okay. And the video is from Catherine McKenna. Here's Andrew retweeting a Conservative Party tweet. It says, it's been 150 days since Trudeau threatened Andrew Scheer with a lawsuit for telling the truth. Trudeau backed down when his bluff was called. Here's another engineered meme. They've got day 47, and this is a strategy. This is a Twitter strategy. They've got another 46 days of these, presumably. So today, day 47 is going to be built around the lawsuit and threatening Andrew Scheer, et cetera, and he actually didn't do anything. So, I mean, as far as media strategies go, if you're selling a corporation, it's wonderful. It's a really good media strategy. As far as politics goes, I don't know if it translates. It looks like a good corporate strategy. That's what I'm saying. Here's another tweet from Mr. Scheer directly. It says, Justin Trudeau said he would balance the budget. Instead, he's run massive deficits that threaten social programs on higher taxes. Already, he has raised taxes on 80% of the middle class Canadians. Under Trudeau, life will get even more expensive. He mentions Justin Trudeau's name a lot. Justin Trudeau's three times in this, right? So it's a lot, but all through the tweets as well, he mentions his name a lot. Here's another one. Justin Trudeau's carbon tax means higher costs for everything, including groceries, gas, and home heating. Life is already expensive enough, and I will scrap Trudeau's carbon tax. It's time for you to get ahead. Okay. Again, he's naming Trudeau too much, in my opinion, but whatever. Here's another one from Scheer. He says, TI National Park renamed a historic century-old picnic shelter today, honoring Gord Brown's dedication to the region he represented and loved. He is so missed by our Conservative family. I look forward to visiting the park and thinking of my friend and dedicated MP Gord. You could picture him sitting at his desk writing in his diary on that one. I think that's very diary-esque. Here's another one from Mr. Scheer. He says, Justin Trudeau's job-killing, no more pipelines, Bill C-69 took effect today. It creates more red tape, chases away good jobs, kills investments, and makes life harder for Canadians. I will scrap C-69, lower taxes, and champion Canadian workers so you can get ahead. Yeah, yep. It's too wordy. It's too much. And it conveys multiple things. There's too much vying for your attention. There's no focus. I can't stop myself. Okay. Here's another one from Mr. Scheer. Canada needs a prime minister who is proud of our national resources and all the Canadians who work in it. Justin Trudeau said he would help the middle class, but instead he has passed laws like C-69, attacked their jobs and raised their taxes. Here he is saying it again. Andrew Scheer should speak in first person. Andrew Scheer. It's National Convenience Week. Convenience stores are small businesses that support communities across the country. Fantastic to see Convenience Canada is celebrating by raising money for the Children's Wish, Convenience Wish Week. Okay, and I mean that's just raising awareness for local charity. But again, there's a lot missing from this. I'll tell you again. We're halfway. Okay, Justin Trudeau's job-killing. Justin Trudeau's job-killing. No more pipelines. Bill C-69 takes effect today. He's raising taxes, chasing away good jobs, making it harder for you to get ahead. Canadians cannot afford another 4 years of the Trudeau Liberals. It's like a shotgun blast that's ineffective because it's shot into the air. Too many dispersing points that there's nothing to focus on. Again, Scheer, August 28th, 4:48 p.m. If Justin Trudeau is reelected, sorry, I added the other two Justin Trudeaus for effect, but my goodness, he says his name too much. If Justin Trudeau is reelected, his carbon tax will go up, and this situation is only going to get worse. Canada's Conservatives are focused on helping you get ahead. Yep. You're working harder and harder and still struggling to get by. My plan will change that. It's time for you to get ahead. This is 6:01 p.m., August 28th. That's just like 2 hours after saying exactly the same thing. That's so weird. Here's another one. Andrew Scheer. This is 7:15 p.m., August 28th. Justin Trudeau has spent the last 4 years making Canada less competitive and life less affordable for you. Now we know his carbon tax will keep going even higher if he's reelected. I will scrap it. At least that's focused. Here's the Chamber of Commerce saying on September 6th, come hear the Honourable Andrew Scheer, leader of the Conservative Party of Canada and the official opposition. At this business luncheon, Mr. Scheer will present his plan in anticipation of the upcoming federal election. Reserve your spot today. And it's got a low amount of likes and retweets. And my question is, will he unveil anything other than what he's unveiled so far? The 60-page climate plan that says nothing? The platform planks that say very little? It's very, 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 there's not a lot of meat on those bones, right? It's bare bones as far as platforms go, and it's following Trudeau a lot of the way. Here's another of those manufactured memes, and this one's hard because you could do this in a very simple way. Make like I've seen t-shirts that get the message across better, more succinctly, right? But they're not doing it better or more succinctly. They're doing it worse. There's lots of us, and that what he said was was dumb enough, you don't need to dress it up with the us. It's very, very interesting how bad, like, this is a miss on this meme, because all you needed to do was draw a picture of a water bottle plastic thing and just label it water box, sort of like drink box water bottle sort of thing. That's all you needed to do. And everybody remembered how dumb it was. You didn't need to. This just looks mean. That's all this is. Okay, this is a Conservative Party tweet, and it says, it's Justin Trudeau's world, and we're just living in it. Or we're just living it. He has a problem telling Canadians how to live their lives, but he can do whatever he wants. In June 2019, when asked a simple question about how his family cuts back on plastics, he could barely find the words. Yeah, you don't need to be mean about it. You can just show it without being mean. That's the point. Andrew Scheer is tweeting again, life is expensive enough without the government piling on more taxes. My plan will lower taxes because it's time for you to get ahead. There we go. That's the theme. I urge Justin Trudeau, to show some courage and show up. Canadians will have a clear choice to make this October. My statement, and there's a full statement. I'm not going to read it. This is 3:16 p.m. August 29th. 2019. Here's another one. By refusing to attend these debates, Justin Trudeau wants to force their cancellation and rob Canadians of an opportunity to see him held to account. This is wrong, and it shows a lack of leadership. This is 5:31 p.m. August 29th, and I mean, there are other people who are being excluded from the debates. That yin and yang is not lost on most Canadians, and yet Andrew Scheer is not touching it. And I understand why that's a strategy too. You don't name your competitor, especially one like Bernier, who the polls say is low, but all other indicators say is much higher than what the polls are indicating. So naming Bernier gives him press, right? That's the strategy that the Conservatives are trying to employ here. But I think it's a miss because it's so obvious, because of the other indicators. Okay, and obviously I'm biased because I'm a candidate and I am part of the PPC. However, that all said, I'm still looking at this and trying to be unbiased. So I think it's a bad strategy, just because I think it's a bad strategy. Okay, Conservative Party tweets and Andrew's retweeting. What happened to Justin Trudeau's promise of accountability? And this is a minute video that I'm not going to show because, nails on chalkboard. Justin Trudeau speaking. Andrew Scheer is tweeting again, and this is August 30th, 2:15 p.m. The anti-Semitic comments by one of Justin Trudeau's hand-picked candidates are absolutely repugnant. He needs to fire this candidate right now and explain to Canadians why he appointed someone with such racist and hateful views. My statement, and there's a further statement. This is kind of blown up, and you know what the Liberals did? Nothing. They're not doing anything about this candidate. Nothing at all. And I'm not sure if there's interest in this little controversy. I'll do a video on it if you want, but it was kind of boring to me because, I mean, the Liberals have done very, very eyebrow-raising things, and this is just another one of them. So, I mean, I'll do a video on it, but I'm not sure it meets the usual bar. Anyway, Andrew Scheer is tweeting, Canadians across the country continue to tell me that they're struggling to get by because Justin Trudeau has made life so expensive. I traveled to Ontario and announced that as a Prime Minister, I will make maternity benefits tax-free to help put more money in your pockets. Little squeaks here and there. Home heating's tax-free and maternity benefits are tax-free. Squeak, squeak, right? Let's simplify rather than all these little credits. Last one says, talk about arrogant. At a Liberal fundraiser in March 2019, Justin Trudeau mocked protesters who called for their Prime Minister to pay attention to mercury poisoning in grassy narrows. This is the thanks for your donation bit. And I mean, again, a manufactured meme. Part of the Twitter strategy, they're hoping that people pick them up and share them, et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, it gets some likes, right? A couple of likes. But here's what's missing. In the last couple of days, the number of candidates has come to light. The Conservatives are way ahead. They don't talk about it. Scheer doesn't talk about it. Campbell, that whole thing blew up and was happening over the last day or so. Andrew Scheer up to this morning hasn't talked about it, up to yesterday afternoon hasn't talked about it. The mass immigration billboards, again, strategy of not naming Bernier, so he can't talk about the billboards, but it's what's on Canadians' minds. People are talking about this, right or wrong. It's in the news and in the bigger zeitgeist, so the fact that he doesn't talk about it. All the memes he's sharing are pro-memes. There's no grassroots memes. There's nobody doing stuff for this party. And again, I've made this point before to a certain extent, but it is important to notice when you have grassroots people piling on Twitter to tell Angus Reid that he's got it wrong, that's a good sign. When you are getting 296 likes on a manufactured meme, that's a bad sign, right? Like, you want people to be putting memes out for you to the extent where you're saying, oh, I hope they don't, not I hope they stop, but I hope they keep it positive. They keep it the messaging that we want, right? Rather than the message kind of getting out of control. which is what people are hoping is going to happen with the messaging for Bernier. But that's not. The people who are memeing, the people who are making the billboard memes, etc., they're even better than the actual advertisements that went up. So, I mean, that's the balance that you're hoping for when those things happen. And it's neat that that's happening for one party in Canada, not happening for another. And, well, the Liberals are just being hammered. Another thing that came up was the Google search results data. The Conservatives were top of that, but Bernier was matching the Liberals. So, I mean, do you talk about that? I think they should. I think the Conservatives should, because it brings the conversation to a higher level, but they're not interested in that. And neither is Andrew Scheer. So those are the things that I think are missing. The number of candidates, there's a lot that he could talk about. There's not a lot of engagement. It reads like a diary, like somebody's already won and they're looking back at this wonderful campaign that they ran. But that's not the truth. The campaign hasn't happened yet. The writ hasn't dropped. And Mr. Scheer doesn't appear to be in the actual conversation, right? The only thing he's interested in talking about are his talking points. I will make maternity benefits tax-free. I will make home heating tax-free. I will put money in your pockets. That's the drum of his campaign, instead of engaging in the conversation and putting up robust platform planks, as far as I've seen so far. And there's time for him to change. There's time for him to put things out. But it's interesting because he's had time to attack Justin Trudeau. And I'm reading a couple of Persuasion and Win Bigly are two excellent books. And this strategy of saying Justin Trudeau a bunch is not a positive thing. Go read Persuasion to find out why. But it's a bad thing if you want to beat Justin Trudeau. And at this point, Andrew Scheer, well, the polls, if you look at the polls and believe them, it's a razor thin. I know this was a long one this morning. Sorry about that. And, I hope you enjoy my analysis of the Conservative Party and Andrew Scheer's Twitter strategy. I think it's a miss, but I'm allowed to have my own opinion. Thank you for watching. Check out the People's Party of Canada.ca and have a wonderful, wonderful day.